girl Ambra here, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, she has a fresh face, and that is only indicative of what? A foundation review. So today we are here to talk about, you got it, because you probably read the title at this point. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. I just got this beaut in the mail from our fine friends over at Sephora, and I was a little hesitant initially about buying it just because of all the drama, which we'll get into a little bit later in the video. But watching a couple of other brown girls try the foundation and really talk about the formula, as well as just having an open forum to talk about, you know, some injustices. All right, Gems, we're gonna jump right into it. As of right now, I have nothing on my skin. I did use that new Summer Fridays jet lag mask because I was so curious about it. And I have to say, after using it and having it on the skin for some time, it did leave my skin super soft and supple. I just was a little hesitant initially because it was marketed skin types that are dry, and I have oily combination. But if any of you out there know much about oily combination skin, you do know that you want to provide a lot of moisture so that your skin doesn't have to create like a surplus because it's struggling, it's thirsty, you know. But what I will do is use a primer on top of that, and you guys know how I've been loving my Hangover Primer by Too Faced. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on top just because I want it. I'm not the type to put on a foundation and not test it with the primer. I'm just gonna pop this all over the skin, really reinforcing the moisture that I received from that jet set. What is it called, y'all? The jet lag? Yes, the jet lag Summer Fridays mask. As you know, Beauty Blender launched their very first complexion product, well known for their beauty sponge that hit the market years ago, took us all by storm. I don't know, not one single makeup enthusiast who does not utilize the Beauty Blender on a daily basis. I have quite a bit. But nonetheless, they came out with a foundation. This is called the Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. You get about 1 fluid ounce, which is on par with the market standard. It attests to being a full coverage, velveteen finish, moisture boosting, hyaluronic acid, antioxidant rich white birch extract. But it's weightless, buildable, can be layered for medium to maximum coverage to address both tone and texture. Never dull or greasy. Skin gets that pro artist velveteen finish that looks picture perfect. One thing that I do want to make a mention, just because that's what I use my forum for and my platform, specifically around the shade range. We all know what's been going on specifically to this launch, and the owner and CEO, her intentions behind creating a shade range that really spoke to, in my opinion, the bulk of the medium skin tone. Even in this collection, our fair girls were having a hard time, and then as you know, about 6 or 7 shades for the deeper skin tones were just lackluster. And as far as breadth of range, they were so excited to attest to 32 shades. But once you looked at all the images, you were kind of like, well, of the 32, I think you only tapped into, I mean, 32 sounds really great, but when 28 of them are all the same damn shade, there's a miss, right? But here's the thing. I use my platform to talk about new products, even those I may not support. I mean, for goodness sakes, you guys, I talk about KK Beauty. Quality is there, even though I don't feel like she needs my money to stay afloat in her business. But it's good quality product, and I'm going to talk to you guys about it. It's up to you whether or not you want to support. It's up to you whether or not you want to keep watching, and it's up to you whether or not you want to test it out. So for me, I was super excited to see it all over because of the component, you guys. I love this innovation, being able to have this sort of petri dish, which a lot of freelance makeup artists use. I know I did when I was doing makeup freelance as well. And then you have this nice locking mechanism so that you can pump and then lock it, so great for travel. I checked out a couple of girls here on YouTube that have been using the product thus far, who we share very similar shade ranges and other foundations, and I thought, hey, there's something out for me. At least let me try, and if I don't like it, y'all know how Sephora work, take it back. All right, so I'm gonna go in with a fresh right out the packet beauty blender, and I'm just going to dab on the back of this tray and just start applying, you guys. All right, so it does feel very moussey upon first application. I just have not used a beauty blender in some time to buff out foundation because I've really been loving brushes, but for the sake of this brand and video, I want to use the tools that should accompany the foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this out. And one thing that I failed to mention, the blend 4.40 is for neutral undertones. All right, Jim, so this is the first application. I would say that was about 2 pumps in the tray. And using the Beauty Blender, I am happy with the application. I've always loved the Beauty Blender. I just have really been loving brushes lately, so either one of them will work just as well. As far as color matching, dead on. Dead on to my neck. I feel like it's a great complexion shade for me. It's so unfortunate because I just feel like those who are maybe a smidge darker or a smidge lighter, you're just gonna have to do some like chemistry. You know, you're gonna have to take a little bit of 4.3 and mix a little bit of 4.40 to get your perfect shade. So that's just a little disheartening. But those who use me as a color reference with picking out their foundation, 4.0 works really well. I am neutral undertone, so I can go either gold or I'm sorry, either I could go cool or I could go warm. So when they have something that's neutral, that's a nice balance of the two, it just applies really, really well and matches my complexion. As far as coverage, definitely medium. Like I'm itching to put on another layer, so I'm definitely gonna do that and show you guys what that looks like before I finish out my entire face. But first impression, it's a beautiful foundation. It matches really well. And it's just unfortunate. But I'm going to go ahead and do another coat and show you guys what that looks like. And then I'm going to go off camera, finish the rest of my face. And then we're going to talk about this as a whole. Be right back. All right, gents, I've come back with another layer of application. I still love the color, but the buildability is very true. I feel like it's definitely covered. I definitely feel like it's covered up a lot of the imperfections that I have on my skin and giving me a really good full coverage, which is my personal preference when applying complexion products. So as I mentioned before, I wanted to show you guys the second layer. I'm going to go off, finish the rest of my face, and then we're going to get all up into it. Okay. So I finished the entire look. It will be, I filmed it, you guys. Don't come for me. But in regards to the foundation review, I like it. I'm really upset about that because I want you guys who are a multitude of beautiful shade ranges to be able to go out and grab this foundation. It really only helps those who are finding me as a reference point for their other foundations. The finish is really beautiful. I found that it worked really well with other products like my go-to concealers and my powders and setting, and it didn't change the quality or the finish. It's definitely not matte, so I don't feel like it's sucking the moisture out of my skin, even though I prepped really intentional today. I can attest to that velveteen finish. I can't attest to 24 hours because I'm not going to wear this for 24 hours, but buildable, definitely. You can get your full coverage using this foundation. I find for neutral skin tones, 4.40 is, O is the letter. 4.40 is the best shade for someone of my skin tone that it has a neutral undertone on the deeper end of the spectrum. And I found that it was really light. The only qualm that I'm having, and I don't know if that's due to setting entirely, is that I don't necessarily have strong smile lines, but I can see it's breaking up right here, and I've probably only had it on for about an hour so far. So like these little divots and like around my nose, it's not grabbing onto the skin But I mean, I don't find that to be a deal breaker for me. I think that I would continue to use this product, especially as we're transitioning to the cooler months, and get a good amount of wear from it. I like the complexion shade on my skin. I don't feel like I look like an Oompa Loompa, because when I first put it on, I was like, Jesus. But it really worked out relatively well. So I would have to say that I do give it my approval. I'm a little salty that the shade range is not as compatible to the mass population as I'd like it. But that's what my job is here to do, to tell you the low down, dirty truth. And with that said, I do like the foundation. But if you guys like videos like this, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you share so that everyone knows what's going on over here at the Ambra Life. But into our next video. Bye.